We are missing Nick Gibbs this afternoon. I'm not sure where he is, but we'll hopefully have him back here helping us out next Tuesday night to bring in the good news on a Tuesday. But if we start with this is pretty good news. We've got hot off the press. I should be the first one reporting this from Reuters. Uber is working with Tesla to promote use of electric vehicles by its drivers in the United States as it works towards becoming emission-free in the US and Canadian cities by 2030. The ride-hailing platform told Reuters on Tuesday. Uber is offering its drivers exclusive purchase incentives of up to $2,000 for Tesla Model 3 and Model Y, apart from existing federal tax credits. Well, it goes on to say, we know, this is the owners there, this is Andre McDonald, Senior Vice President of Mobility and Business Operations at Uber, says, we know from listening to Uber drivers that the cost of ownership and access to convenient charging are the top two barriers preventing them from going electric. And we are working with Tesla to tackle both of these issues. As per the initiative, drivers will be able to use a referral code to purchase vehicles directly from the Tesla factory or from available inventory when such inventory is available. They must purchase and receive the vehicle through March 31 and complete 100 trips by May 15th to get their $2,000 rebate. Uber has initiated test drives at some Tesla stores. Starting with New York City, Uber has been sharing data with Tesla on where its drivers need charging infrastructure the most, which includes obviously the areas where drivers do most of their trips. As of last year, Uber had 74,000 active EV drivers in the United States, Canada, and Europe. Well, that seems like pretty good news to me. And I wonder about Lyft or some of the others that are out there. So this is Randy Kirk. Please hit like. You know that helps the algo, and it only takes you a little second right now. Boom. You just hit that like button, hit subscribe, and then, of course, you want to hit notify because guess what? Brian White was on today. He'll be back tomorrow. We've got Jeff Lutz tomorrow night. I've already confirmed Jeff for tomorrow night, so he'll be here for sure, as usual. And, you know, the regular stuff in the morning. But if you want to be notified, by the way, I've heard that sometimes people are being unsubscribed. I don't know how that works, but would you check and make sure that you are subscribed if you intend to be? And then, I don't know if you know this, but if you do more than 3 videos a day, you won't always get notified. Is that weird? So don't count on that notification because we sometimes do a 4th video during the day. Sometimes those are clips. So please notice if you see a video from me that is under 6 minutes, it's almost 100% going to be a clip. And maybe you've already seen that previously, or maybe you haven't, but just know that that's what that is, a clip of a show that we've done previously. All right. And then, of course, you want to buy one of these. Buy. You know you want a Cybertruck bottle opener. You know you need one. You know your friends need them. You can buy them 4, 5, 6, 10 at a time. All the information down below. And then join Patreon. I will definitely appreciate those of you who will do that. All right, let's get on to the rest of the news here. This is news that just came out a couple of hours ago. Heinrich Zane, he's a guy who does flyovers or attempts to do flyovers at Giga Nevada. And he says that Tesla Giga Nevada expansion update. We finally have clarity and progress on the alternate plan. The alternate plan, to build a separate standalone building for Tesla semi-volume production. Semi-truck volume. In other words, they've been building them by hand. Now they're going to go into volume production. He says this is not going to take place in the main building, but they are going to be producing a separate building where that will take place. He says that there is now 2 warehouses on wheels, one for Panasonic and one for Tesla. And these are support buildings. These are buildings where they have lots and lots of inventory and things that they use, and they're building new locations for these so that they can easily get them into the building more quickly, I guess. And then that is freeing up space on the northern end of the existing warehouse on wheels for construction of a brand new building. In other words, they're going to eliminate that warehouse on wheels and put in a new building, probably, he says, for the semi-production building. So that would be good news, certainly for a guy who cares about the semi like I do. All right, now the headlines continue to be filled with Elon's demands to reach 25% ownership, like this one from CNN. Elon Musk demands another huge payday from Tesla. Elon Musk says he wants a significantly larger stake in Tesla than the one that has already made him the richest person on the planet. Don't you love it? Don't you just love it? Yeah. Oh, by the way, I don't expect to see that Reuters article anywhere except for the Reuters. They're not going to talk about that Uber opportunity or the Uber situation with Tesla. That's not going to be a headline. Probably, well, and of course, we know that there'll be no headline about maybe the semi truck. Nobody's even going to go chase that down. No reporters are even going to go see if they can find anybody that'll tell them if the semi truck building is starting to be built. Anyway, but on this, Elon Musk, well, a bit of a deep dive shows that he controls about 22% now, counting his options, which he can exercise at any time he wants, up through, I think it's 2028. But until he does, his voting rights are more like 13%. Now, if he exercises those voting rights right now, and that would take him up to 22%. If he does that, he's going to have a massive, massive tax hit. And there's only one way he can take care of that tax hit, and that's to sell shares in one of his companies. I don't think he's going to sell shares in SpaceX in order to help him pay the tax bill on Tesla. So he would probably sell some shares in Tesla. So what he needs some kind of a new incentive program. But what we're seeing now is a knee-jerk reaction out there criticizing Elon for this position. Now, I laid out my theory on this morning, stating that Elon is more worried about humanity and the threat of AI than he is about power or money. He's already shown really very little interest in money, and the power that he's exerting is how is he showing his interest in power? He's showing his interest in power by saying, I want to save humanity, and I also want to make sure that the humans that are here and on Earth get their freedoms. I'm way more interested in whether people are free than whether I make money and freedom of speech is at the top of the list. Couldn't agree with Elon more on this. So I'd love to know what you think in the comments below. Do you think that Elon Musk is being a grasping billionaire that's hoping to become a trillionaire and hoping to have, or do you think that really what he's concerned about is that AI could run away and that people sometimes, I don't know, some Altman guy or something might not be 100% interested in humanity and maybe way more interested in lining pockets, and that could be his own board, that could be his own stockholders if he doesn't have a position where he has not control. He's never going to get 51%, but he wants to have a major voice, not just one more 12, 15% voice, like some of the other big stockholders, BlackRock and others. All right. Dan Ives says this about the situation. He says, at the end of the day, we believe the board and Musk will be able to resolve this 25% issue over the next 3 to 6 months, probably after this case is finished with regard some stockholders sued him on the last compensation plan. So he's thinking it'll take 3 to 6 months to solve it. And ultimately, all AI initiatives, opportunities, new stuff will be kept within Tesla. This dynamic will cause some noise, but it's a process we expect Musk and the board to manage for the shareholders. Well, today, Tesla bounced off that 215 and had quite a run up. The market also did until it didn't. And when it didn't, Tesla relaxed a bit too, but ended up in the green and ahead of the market today. That 215 seems to be a fairly solid base, which it may be hard for Tesla to go below, not to say it won't, but it might also have to be tested again. We might see a test as early as tomorrow, especially with Tesla is up in the after hours, or at least it was last time I checked. We'll check it in a minute, but it could be tested tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Barron's has a story out suggesting 3 reasons that the market might need a significant correction. One, only 20% of investors in a recent poll are bearish. And that's one of the ones that I really look at. I see When everybody's thinking one way, it's time to start looking at what is the other way. Number two, the market has had a big run up in a very short time and is sitting very near all-time highs. And number three, the PE on the S&P is very, very high right now compared to traditional levels. And the earnings reports are coming out this week, which will hopefully support those PEs and lower them by virtue of earnings being more, then the PE could come down. But if not, if those earnings come in not as much as good as possible, as good as hoped, then we might see another reason for a sell-off. We will know that within the next 8 trading days, because so many earnings reports will come in the rest of this week and all next week. So I would add a fourth. The market commonly predicts the future of the economy about 6 months out, and the third and fourth quarter are going to have real problems beating the increases from 2023. So we could see an extremely flat business environment or even a negative GDP when you consider year over year, which is what they do. We may have negative GDP, even though it doesn't seem economically, it doesn't seem to the economists like it's really a recession, but it will. But on the other side of the coin, we have Federal Reserve Governor Christopher Waller saying Tuesday that the central bank will likely cut rates this year, but that the shift in monetary policy doesn't have to be rushed. In turn, stocks moved lower and bond yields popped higher. The 30-year yield, which was already up, ended the day up 10 basis points. Yeah, it was not a good day for the bonds. On the other hand, we also have the Empire State Manufacturing Survey coming in really bad. As I talked about in detail this morning, the manufacturing sector is obviously looking to remain in a recession. After 14, 15 months of being that way, looks like manufacturing will continue to be hard hit. So where is Tesla now? Let's take a look. We have got Tesla sitting in the after hours at up 60 cents. So a total for the day up $1.62. Now let's go and take a look at some of the rest of the things here. Let us start with the bonds. So in the after hours, we have the bonds up a little bit. I would call the long bonds or the yields rather. The yields on long bonds are up way less than a 0.5%. Right now, actually just switched to a 0.5%. So pretty much that's where the long bonds are. And the shorter bonds are up more than that. So they're up 1 to 2%. All right. That's where we are as of this minute. Now let's go ahead and take a look at oil. And we have got oil sitting at down back to 70, basically 72, let's call it. Brent unchanged in the pre-market. We've got natural gas down another 1.83%, sitting at 2.847. So that's pretty significantly down for the day. We have gold flat in the pre-market, copper exactly flat. We have got the dollar unchanged. Boy, everything's just flat. We have got Bitcoin up a little bit finally in the after hours. And then we've got the Dow flat, everything flat, everything less than 0.05%. So yeah, you could just say they're all flat. If you want to say anything, the Dow is down a little, S&P and NASDAQ up a little, but it's all really tiny numbers. So as we commonly do, we go back, well, let's just for fun, we're going to look at Tesla is still up 55 cents in the after hours. All right. So what you missed today, if you didn't see it, you need to go back. We had Brian White on earlier today, and he and I talked about a bunch of different rumors, like the the Roadster rumor, and whether or not that was a Model 3 or a Model Y or a third gen vehicle that was under the wraps up on that car carrier. Anyway, we went through a bunch of those kind of rumors, and Brian gave us the best that he could do in terms of updates on all of those rumors. And so you want to see that one, you're going to want to see the card right here. And then you also want to hit like and subscribe and notify, because tomorrow I've got Brian back, and he and I are going to talk about his estimates of what's going to be happening in 2024. about how many cars we're going to sell, where we're going to sell them, how we're going to get to various numbers. We had a great conversation. You do not want to miss that particular show. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we'll have Jeff Lutz on tomorrow night to hopefully bring in a really, really happy Tesla day. Maybe another green day. Wouldn't it be great to have 2 in a row? And then, of course, please, if you haven't done it yet, and they're $25. Come on now, you can do this. If you want to buy it on Amazon, it's $29, so you could pay more. I get less, but you could get more. I mean, you could pay more, and I can earn less. But otherwise, just send the money to PayPal.me / Randy Kirk, all lowercase letters, and then you'd say 25 for one. Say it with me now. 45 for two, 65 for three, 90 for four, 110 for five. Lots and lots of my orders. Almost all my orders right now are reorders. And a lot of people are buying multiples because the first time they went out there and gave these away, people were just blown away. They just loved them. So I'm just recommending that you get out there, get a few of these, hand them out at special events, special circumstances. When you go to certain business meetings or you've got parties, they make great party favors or things that you could trade. And yeah, so get yourself some of those and then join Patreon. You know the deal there too. $3, that's the lowest. You can get in at $3 and you are supporting the channel. You can get in at $5. You support the channel even better. And I'm going to give you one of those ebooks over there. You get to choose which one. And if you join at the $10 level, I'll give you one of those ebooks and the Cybertruck bottle opener or both of those ebooks over there. So any one of those you're talking about over 30, $40, almost a $40 value if you get in at the $10 level. I mean, I hope you'll stay around for 4 months so that you kind of pay it back, but there's no requirement. It just would be nice of you. Okay, that's all I've got for today. Look forward to seeing you in the morning. And, it's been great talking to you.